16-year-old Charleston White took the stand and testified against his friend, Antoine Doolittle, who sat just a few feet from him and listened intently.
He pulled off, the hammer back on the gun.
And then what happened?
He fired it.
Look at Charleston White's head.
Snitch ass nigga.
What's up?
Things this case has stopped me from doing, traveling all across the world, making. So I just want to get it over with, and, you know, accept my guilty plea. I'm ready to get over it.
Charleston White might have finally messed with the wrong one, because this time, Boosie Badass ain't talking clout, clicks, or internet talk. He's talking receipts, real-life courtroom-level proof. The kind that could have Charleston staring down a possible life sentence if Boosie's telling the truth. Yeah, you heard that right. Boosie's claiming there's murder for hire, paperwork dating all the way back to 2005, and it's pointing straight at Charleston White. If there's even a shred of truth in that, this whole thing just flipped from entertainment ... to something that could straight up ruin a man's life.
Boosie going to jail! Oh, God! Oh, God!
He's pled guilty and he's facing up to 15.
God answered my prayer.
Why?
Because I prayed for him to be found guilty. Y'all don't remember? Remember I prayed?
No, I remember.
No cap, this story keeps getting crazier by the day, and every new update is messier than the last. So let's get into it. Boosie and Charleston White been going back and forth for months now. One throws shade online, the other claps back even harder. For a while, it was all talk, pure entertainment. But this time, Boosie's latest words didn't sound like clout chasing. They sounded like a warning.
You taking the plea deal? I think he even said he hopes you die in jail and stuff like that.
Yeah, I heard.
During a recent live stream, Boosie didn't bite his tongue. He said straight up, "Y'all keep playing with me, I got paperwork. I got proof. Charleston think he clean, but he got dirt too." Real dirt, 2005 type dirt. The internet froze instantly. Nobody expected that bomb. Because when Boosie brings up 2005, everybody knows what time it is. That was the era when his own name was wrapped up in Murd3r For Hire talk. The feds watching, the city buzzing, pure chaos all around him. So when Boosie says there's old evidence tying Charleston back to that same time frame, people listen because Boosie knows that world inside out. He's lived it. He survived it. And when a man who's already beaten the system says, "I got proof on you," that's not something you just brush off. Now let's rewind and see how this whole blaze even started. Charleston White been poking the bear for months, building his brand off calling rappers out, labeling them fake, accusing them of glorifying crime and poisoning the youth. He's called Boosie a hypocrite more than once, saying he talks growth but still glorifies the streets. And every time Charleston dropped Boosie's name, you could see the tension rising in Boosie's face. But Charleston kept pushing. He clowned Boosie's past, his time behind bars, saying, "Some people act like prison changed M, but that same devil still live inside." That right there was the final straw. Insiders say that's when Boosie snapped and started talking receipts. He told folks Charleston ain't as clean as he pretends, said he's got skeletons. Real ones, buried deep, and he's ready to bring them to light. Then Boosie went live and dropped the bomb. 2005, Baton Rouge, Fort Worth. Y'all know exactly what I'm talking about. He stared dead into the camera and said, "Ask Charleston what he was doing when that hit went down. Ask him why that paperwork never dropped. He playing a role, I'ma expose the real him." That's when the internet went crazy. Comments flooded every platform. Boosie talking about a hit. Where's the proof? Is Charleston really tied to that? And just as folks were trying to piece it together, Charleston clapped back. Charleston White ain't never been scared of a rapper. That's his whole persona. At first he laughed it off, saying, "Boosie ain't got nothing. If he did, I'd be locked up already." But then he slipped. In another video, Charleston said, "Whatever happened in 2005, I was a different man then. I did things I ain't proud of." That one line, "I did things I ain't proud of," lit the internet on fire. Because when you're denying something, you don't talk like that. Boosie caught it immediately. He posted a reaction with that cold smirk and said, "See? That's how you know I hit a nerve." From that moment, the tension was real. Now, let's be clear, nobody's saying Charleston's been charged or officially tied to any murder-for-hire case. But the way Boosie told it, there's a trail. He claimed Charleston had connections to Texas street figures back in the mid-2000s, dudes caught up in serious crimes. Some of, still serving time, Boosie said. Y'all think Charleston turned activist because he found God? Nah, he turned activist because he trained to bury his past. Whether that's facts or just mind games, it cut deep because Charleston's whole image is built on redemption. On being the man who left the streets to preach against them. So when Boosie dropped that 2005 Murd3r For Hire bomb, it shattered that image completely. The internet lost its mind. People started digging, pulling up old mugshots, news clips, and every rumor ever tied to Charleston's name. Reddit lit up overnight. Did Charleston White have connections to that 2005 hit? Twitter went wild, half calling Boosie a liar, half swearing he's too sharp to fake something that's serious, but Charleston wasn't backing off. He went live again, red-faced and fired up, yelling straight into the camera, "You can't scare me, Boosie. You can't threaten me with no jail. I done seen it all." Then he added, "I done beat cases too." But viewers caught something in his voice. It wasn't that same fearless Charleston we're used to. He sounded shaken. I noticed it right away and doubled down. "If Charleston wanna play with me," he said, "I'ma send that whole file to the feds. They missed something before, I'ma help find it this time." Now that right there, heavy, because when you start bringing up the feds, that means it's way past social media games. You don't throw that kind of threat unless you know you're sitting on something real. That's why this situation feels different. This ain't just online trash talk anymore. It's about power, about control of the story, about who's really willing to risk it all just to silence the other. Boosie and Charleston, they're two sides of the same coin. Boosie, the street legend who's lived it, survived it, and still carries those scars. Charleston, the ex-street guy turned activist, preaching against the same world he once stood for. But deep down, both still got ghosts chasing M. So when Boosie said 2005 ain't gone, that wasn't just a threat, that was a warning. The past never really stays buried. Sources close to Charleston say he's been moving different since that outburst, watching who he talks to, cleaning his socials, canceling shows. Some say he's scared, others say he's just being careful. But one thing's certain, Boosie's got him on defense. And when a man like Charleston, who built his brand on being fearless, starts looking over his shoulder, the hit landed. Meanwhile, Boosie's enjoying every second, dropping cryptic posts, hinting at receipts, keeping fans guessing. In one clip, he grinned that signature grin and said, "I don't bluff. I bring truth. Y'all gon' see soon enough." That's Boosie for you. Calm on the surface, chaos underneath. He knows how to keep the crowd on edge. But even some of his own fans are nervous. Because if Boosie really has those old case files, paperwork, witness statements, or whatever he's hinting at, and he drops them publicly, it could reopen wounds the law already closed. And in some cases, it might drag him back into that same mess. That's what makes this whole story so dangerous. Boosie's been through the system. He knows what happens when the streets and the courts start crossing paths. He's lived it. He's seen it break men who thought they were untouchable. And this time, it feels like he's ready to risk it all just to make Charleston White stop talking. Now, let's talk motive. Why would Boosie go this far? Why bring up something as serious as Murd3r For Hire? Some say it's revenge, plain and simple. Charleston's been dragging Boosie's name, his family, his kids, even questioning his street credibility for years. Maybe this was Boosie finally saying enough. Others think it's strategy, flip the script, make Charleston the target, and keep him too busy defending himself to attack anyone else. Either way, Boosie's playing a dangerous game, because if he's bluffing, it could blow up in his face. But if he's telling the truth, then Charleston might have a real problem on his hands. Charleston's reaction since then has been all over the place. Some days he laughs it off, calling Boosie desperate for relevance. Other days he's red-faced on live, yelling about rats and fake gangsters. And that's the scary part, the energy's shifting. This ain't just entertainment anymore. It's starting to feel real. And when beef moves from the internet to real life, that's when people stop cheering and start praying nobody gets hurt behind the scenes. Insiders say both men got people trying to calm things down, mutual friends calling for peace, OGs from Baton Rouge in Texas warning them to chill before the wrong eyes start paying attention. Because once the feds hear words like evidence and murder for hire, it's not social media beef anymore. It's paperwork, surveillance, subpoenas, and both of them know it. Still, Boosie ain't backing down. In a recent interview, he said, "I don't make up lies. If I say something, it's because I got proof. I don't bluff on a man's freedom. I talk facts." Charleston fired right back. If you got evidence, show it. Otherwise, you the one playing police. And that's the perfect summary. Two men daring each other to prove they're real. While both trying not to lose their image in the process, the internet is eating it up. Titles like Charleston White scared of Boosie, Boosie bringing receipts, and 2005 murder files leak are trending everywhere. But while fans are laughing, people close to both men are warning. This isn't a game. When words like murder and evidence start flying, it never ends pretty. Because if either one of them goes too far, gossip can turn into tragedy real quick. Boosie said something recently that stuck with a lot of people. People forget I done seen real death. I done seen real prison. I don't fear no man, but I fear lies. Don't lie on me, 'cause I'll show the truth. And maybe that's what this whole feud is really about. Not just anger, but fear. Fear of being exposed. Fear of being forgotten. Fear of letting the other man win, because both Boosie and Charleston built their brands on never backing down, and now they've backed themselves into a corner where the only way out is escalation. So what happens next? If Boosie really has proof, if there's any 2005 evidence tying Charleston White to a hit, it could blow the roof off everything. New investigations, new drama, maybe even arrests. But if it's all talk, if Boosie's just leaning on his legend to intimidate, then he's playing a dangerous bluff that could destroy his own credibility. Either way, somebody's reputation won't survive this. The world is watching, waiting to see who folds first. Charleston White, the loudest voice in internet culture, now forced to defend his past. Boosie Badaz, the man who once beat the system, daring someone else to face it. It's pride versus power. Street versus speech. And the stakes? Higher than ever, because this time, the threat isn't just words. It's life in prison. Drop your thoughts in the comments. Is Boosie bluffing, or does he really have something on Charleston White? And if that evidence is real, what happens next? Whatever the truth is, this story's far from over. The streets are talking, the internet's watching, and every new clip just adds more fire to the flame when it comes to drama. It don't get any louder than this. This is Buzz and Drama. Hit that like button. Subscribe and stay tuned, because the next chapter in this feud might be the one nobody's ready for.